All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Batty Overwatch League. I'm AJ0, joined here with UTech as we are hopping straight into game here. We've got Team Jeff from the Overwatch team going up against Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as we do have a substitute player playing for MNMD tonight with Scarlet stepping in place of Ninja Plez. UTech, how do you feel about those big shoes that have to be filled?
Those are big shoes indeed, because Scarlet, I don't think she's even played a game at all in this entire league of the 9 weeks that we have played.
Nope, this is her stream debut, and she is stepping in for potential MVP player Ninja Plez. So this is going to really drastically change things up for MNMD. 30 going to have to take full control of this team tonight.
Yeah, and as we understand, Ninja Plez just being such a huge shot calling, just a huge leader on that team. Who knows what's going to happen? And as you said, 30 is going to be having to take the reins, and that's going to be taking time and some brain space away from his aiming.
Yeah, but fortunately for him, they are only doing it against Jeff from the Overwatch team. This team has been a bit of a dumpster fire this season, to be completely blunt. So if there's ever a week where you're going to have to play without your superstar code EPS, I guess this would be the one you would want it to be. But for Jeff from the Overwatch team, they've got to be ecstatic about this, because they are currently 2 maps back on Waifu Superstar 2 with a head-to-head coming next week. They have a chance to make the playoffs still. And if they can take some maps because Ninja Plez isn't here, they could be trying to play this in week 11.
Yeah, no, and definitely if we get into that tie for the playoffs, you know, I'm gonna be excited for what happens for the tiebreaker.
All right, so coming out here, we've got a bit of a new composition coming out of the offense. Here's Snoopy Koopa on the Hanzo, as he is not playing either of his normal roles tonight. So we see Josh Dangle, he's going towards the back line. He wants this Hanzo off of the high grounds, as he is kind of playing on this back end of MNMD, but they are giving up the high grounds here. They're going to contest under the arch instead, as there's damage kind of being tossed in the shields, but nothing too definitive right now. Snoopy Koopa looking for arrows up high uncontested, finds nothing with the luck shot, as he is now looking for a flank play. Ryzak being hooked in here on this Roadhog.
Josh Tangle getting emacked as the fight continues. This war of attrition on both sides. Triple tank coming out of Jeff from the Overwatch team, trying to save it again. Scott getting picked off by Splinter, but right back as Ryzak on the hog getting taken down. Josh Tango doing what he can, trying to take someone on the high ground, but unable to get any sort of pick.
30 has the first tire of the match, though. He's coming on a nice loop around on this statue. He finds Cuban Piece, so it's a mercy down. Valkyrie unavailable now for the defense as they lose Daniel as well. Now here, 30 comes jumping on in. They are raining some good damage out. This is looking like it's going to be a first point cap by MNMD.
And just an interesting set of plays as MNMD just able
to... they're pushing this. I thought that Coalescence was too aggressive, but the entire team is there to follow up, and they turned that into 3 kills. That's going to get them through this first corner here on Street Space.
Yeah, and although Jeff from the Overwatch team definitely had some good hooks, some good trying to get those picks, they were never able to confirm any kill.
Ooh, for good measure, Snoopy Koopa taking out Kappa. Gonna force the res out of Cuban Pete, who seems to have upped his Valkyrie at some point. I did not catch it. Now Kappa looking for the tack visor up on the high ground. He's already found 30. He found Cruz. They get the res out to 30, but that does not matter. Kappa huge from this high ground.
Yeah, and Hips dropping the beat just to keep his team alive as they continue on with this defense. Great play by Captain, keeping that high ground uncontested, able to help reset this point in 4 minutes to go on this defense.
Yeah, we might need to see some swaps coming out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy here. They do not have anything that can contest that high ground other than a Hanzo and maybe a super aggressive Junkrat. And the Street Space, we know all season, every time we're on Dorado, it is all about this high ground in the Street Space, folks.
Definitely curious as to why they're not playing some of the dive tanks to try to get that verticality on top, test the soldier. But here we are, a tire coming in.
Oh, but there comes the dragon. That's one way to clear people off. But oh, the hammer and the team about John Dago finds a 4K. back-to-back huge fights from Jeff with the Overwatch team as they are going to hold this point yet again. And now with ult blown, maybe this will open up the opportunity for some swaps.
And you also have to think Scotch also putting in a great shatter down to make sure no one is able to defend themselves as Danko. That is a very, very good coordination for both Danko and Scotch getting that Diva Bomb and shatter.
Yeah, still no swaps coming out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as they are content to try to force their way through the ground. They've already lost the Arista Shield. They get the hook onto the Roadhog, but Dano's going to drop to the ground in the process as Gappin still utterly uncontested out there. The Bongo now wears off. QPD popping the early Valkyrie. MNMD going for broke through. They've already found Spoopy's Hanzo. This card has moved up through the first corner. Can he get through the second? Gappin with another attack visor. This was a disaster last time for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, and it's looking like it will be again as he's finding kill after kill here. And Jeff from the Overwatch team winning this street space with ease.
And as I said before, they have no one to contest that high ground, meaning that soldier that Captain is playing right now is just going to get free ult chars. He's just going to pop his tac visor. He doesn't even have to aim at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're finally seeing the swaps go out of MNMD. They've got Winston, Diva coming out of the Splinter Ryzak, their tank combo for the night. And straight on up, but Splinter, your team was not ready for you to jump there. Now Ryzak maybe making the exact same mistake. A super awful entry there out of Splinter. Gonna cost his team a lot of tempo, and they're really bleeding through this clock right now.
But the very, very sort of questionable positioning from Jeff from the Overwatch team, as Spoopy Koopa trying to come in from behind, seeing what he can do, seeing if he can cause some chaos behind with Tracer, but just trying to build up some ult charge while he's at it.
Yeah, just kind of poking around here now on the front. Scout just got a second Valkyrie up and out 30, forcing the issue with his own tactical visor, trying to match Captain, but there is a Rhine shield there, and 30's now, no, he finds Captain, he stepped behind, or out from behind the Rhine shield, gonna force a res on a Cuban feet, and now Captain's gonna try to match with his own tag visor, and Jeff just swarms onto the offense here. They are so good at pumping up this damage tonight, they don't even have to blow their support ults in the process.
Yeah, Scotch getting a critical 3-man shatter in the building of, I believe that's a small little church, little chapel. Just getting a nice pick, and since he has a hammer, it's close quarters combat, no one's going to be able to contest that.
Yeah, so this could be the last fight here for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy if they're not able to secure a win. All of Jeff and they're watching Buffalo Tiger. Now Josh Danko dropping down, just kind of putting a little pressure onto 30 here.
Continue on with this. Splinter jumping into the backline, seeing what he can get. Coalescence and Feet both dropped on, and both teams trying to get what they can. Captain dropping with the attack visor. Oh,
no, 30 with the attack visor
attack
actually, but he's not finding anything. Skylar doesn't get the res on the Super Koopa, so there is a whole team available here for the offense still. No picks yet. Now Captain's dropping down. He finds the kill onto the Diva. We see Valkyrie coming out of Skylet, her trying to find something, but her team is losing members fast, as there is now a huge man advantage for the defense. Scott's dropping the hammer on the cart, and this is looking like it might be it for MNMD. Captain pushing forward with yet another gigantic tac visor. And now Swoopy Koopa, the last to fall. No one else is going to be able to touch here, as there is a solid streets hold coming out of Jeff and the Overwatch team.
Yeah, and yes, solid defense indeed. If this is the 1 week that Jeff from the Overwatch team has a shred of hope to get any sort of wins in a game, it is this week, especially with MNMD just being so crippled without having Ninja Plays.
Yeah, and this is a map we've seen MNMD play well on before, specifically on the streets phase. They've secured a win earlier this season. Maybe this is just one of their maps, but it's not like we've never seen Jeff from the Overwatch team. Good map. I get my teams mixed up here. But it's not like we haven't ever seen Jeff from the Overwatch team come out completely limp on offense. By no means is Mercy Nerf Me Daddy out of Dorado yet.
Oh yeah, definitely have a good, solid chance of defense. They know their stuff. They may not have ninja plays, but at least they have a bit more positional awareness and a bit more coordination, in my opinion. But I've actually been very, very impressed with how Jeff from the Overwatch team is taking advantage from some of the uncoordination of the dives from Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
So we'll see. Mercy Nerf Me Daddy never content to stick with the same thing for long, and they're changing things pretty drastically here. Cruz going over to the tank, something he hasn't touched a lot of this season, but over his career has played a lot of. They're letting Splinter try the DPS again. Guys, if you don't remember an atrocious map at Junkertown where Splinter tried DPS earlier this season, it was a utter disaster. But they are giving him a second shot at it, so they're going for the double projectile here. With Spoopy back over to the tank, Ryzak back over to the support. Pretty drastic swaps coming for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, so we'll see what they can do. This is a decent composition into 4 tank, which is what Team Jeff is going to be running. Sorry, make that 3 tank with a Widowmaker.
Yeah, definitely kept trying to get those picks, seeing what he can. He knows that they are not going to have the greatest positioning, especially with the Reinhardt. He can't be as mobile.
Oh, Splinter! A bad jump. Was not paying any attention to that Widowmaker there. Jumped straight up in the open ground. You cannot be Widowmaker there. As they've taken out hits though, so it's looking like Mercy Nerf Me Daddy wants to contest this next few. 30's now found 2 kills. There's gonna be a fight forward as Cruz gets yoinked, but I think he's gonna be able to keep his life here. This cart has now come to a stop. 30 takes out Cap'n. 30 starting to pop off here.
Yeah, and a nice solid hold, and they are where they want to be on this defense. They have it right underneath the archway, and they're going to be feeling pretty good here as they're a full team of 6 as Jeff from the Overwatch team is going to try to get in another push.
That MZ letting this tire come out from the back line. 30 with a nice entry. No really shooting at. He is content to just take the once. That's Dano taking out of the fight.
And a big pick. They cannot answer anything with another counter pick. The spawn advantage is on their side, but since they're not able to do too much after that, they're not gonna get through this defense. Continue on. Trying to play.
Josh Danko's maybe looking for a flank graviton here. He's gonna catch 30 from the back, so they will know that this flank is coming. That probably shuts down that play.
Oh, but they don't have a D.Va. That is a big one. But the transcendent to try to counter it out, they're not going to have the damage to do anything. But a nice pick onto Cupid Pete, making sure that both Mercies are down on both sides. Captain, Dano getting the picks they need onto Splinter and 30, making sure that the big DPS players are out.
Yeah, but MNMZ, they don't want to give this one up yet. They pop the whole hog. This is putting some good damage on. That stops Captain from getting any kills here. This is looking good for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. But Scotch wants to keep fighting this. They get the res onto Captain. Now coming in up high in the air. It was a nice hammer out of Scotch there. This is turning into a very long fight. Here comes the tire. Maybe he can take advantage of this chaos. The tire trying to find his way in the back line. Will it find anybody? 30 takes out Captain. That's a lot of damage off the table.
Yeah. And a surprising defense here. And oh, a big pick onto Cuban Pete, making sure that that's another big stagger, maybe losing out on a few more seconds before they're able to regroup.
Yeah, 30 is just going off here. He is putting out so much pressure by himself, reminding everyone he's the reigning MVP of this league, and he gets to keep that title until he loses it. But Ryzak not helping himself, gets picked early here. It's a 1-for-1 trade, though, as now Dano going forward with this whole hog. This is man advantage for the offense, but Splinter is finding some kills in the process. Josh Daniel's going to lose his back as well, so this is pretty big, but I don't know if it's going to matter. It is a 5v2 in favor of Team Jeff. Now just Scooby Koopa, he goes down. And they're finally going to cap this first point, but Mercy Nerf Me Daddy not in the worst position on time here, given how much they have to do here on defense.
Oh yeah, and a minute and a half back on the clock, making it up to 3 minutes that they have to push about halfway into the streets phase. And knowing that they can play out this game, this war of attrition, they are looking actually pretty good in terms of what they have to do. They can just bait out a few ults from Mercy Nerf Me Daddy and then try to push again.
Yeah, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, they probably want to fight this one pretty far forward, but it's not looking like they will, as now the tanks are going up. Oh, they picked 30 early. This is a disaster for the defense, as the hammer down is blocking him with this cart still moving for free in the streets. Splinter trying to find something with this barrage, but he's getting attacked by out of the sky, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch here.
They're going to get this.
And
no
one's
going to be able to touch.
Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, a good hold on the first point, but it does not end up being enough. Team Jeff from the Overwatch team take a map, and it's been a while, but they are keeping themselves in this playoff race. And play of the game going to be Josh Danko coming up huge on this Diva ult.
Baby.
These are the picks you draft Josh Danko for. Look at that. Tosses it in. They didn't even need the hammer down there.
No one to just... They just didn't even know how to scatter. They didn't even see where it was coming from.
Yeah, and those are the kind of smart ults we've seen from Josh Danko when he's playing the tank. This is why his tank play is so highly regarded.
I mean, it's also the reason he went for, was it $10.25?
Yeah, this is the stuff that got him within a few games of Grandmasters last season.
It's nothing to scoff at. You want this guy playing on your off-tank position, playing that flex role, and he'll work magic.
Yeah, and it gets them a win here. So 1-0 series lead going in favor of Jeff from the Overwatch team.
And you know what? They're gonna have to try to keep this ball rolling if they're able to take more wins off
but
of.
Good news for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as we see Ninja Plez has come online, folks. Looks like he only needed to miss the first map of the series, but he is here to play. As Scarlet is going to step back out so MNMD can rock their traditional starting roster. And I guess just real quick, we'll give Scarlet a shout out. That was not an awful debut. I do not think they lost that map because she was playing as much as they lost it because Ninja Plus was not playing. But she did not look out of place in that map. And we have not always been able to say that about other players that have debuted.
Oh yeah. And you know what? Additional round of applause to her, as you said. I hope to see her be playing some more. Maybe if she's playing next season, she'll get drafted and be able to play a bit more. But again, you know what? That's very, very respectable Mercy play.
That's 30 probably pretty excited to have his co-fragger back in action here. 30 was putting out the work that last map. It was not enough damage coming out, but the dynamic of this team changes entirely with Ninja Plus, as you've got two guys that are good enough to carry any given fight.
But I think we should definitely point out a real big influence on Jeff from the Overwatch team, and that was Catton getting a lot of hits on the Soldier 76. Yeah. No one was able to even contest him on the defense and Streets phase.
Yeah, Kevin honestly played one of his best maps of this season so far. He was going off there. He had multiple ultimates where I thought were play of the game quality until Josh Danko got that massive Diva bomb.
I'm surprised, yeah, with those visors. That wasn't one of the plays of the game. But hey, when you get a 4K just in one sitting by pressing Q, can't beat that. That's so my friend.
Indeed.
But we're going to be going into Eichenwald. Looks like MNMD going to be coming back at full strength. It's the glimmer of hope out for Jeff from the Overwatch team to eke out another victory.
Yeah, we will see. As I will admit all bias coming out here. I am very happy to see Ninja Plus back in action, as this is very good for Waifu Superstar. Waifu is maybe saved, as we could use all the help other teams will give us in holding on to our map lead.
Oh yeah. You must be very happy that Ninja Plus is back.
Yes, absolutely. I do not want Jeff from the Overwatch team winning this match. I will be honest about that. Folks, there's nothing wrong with being biased.
There is no shame in wanting to see you in the finals.
I just want to see you in the first round. I don't actually know. I do not want to see you in the first round. I want to get knocked out before we play your team. So the goal is you guys can take the first seed. Maybe my team makes it around to third, loses in the semifinal. That would be good enough. See you in the semifinals, I guess, is going to be everything.
And especially with the season as a whole, it's been very interesting. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, but all in all, it's a baddie league.
Baddie league indeed.
But just like that.
Yep, we're to Eichenwald here, so hopefully going to be a little more dynamic of a match than we saw in the first round here, as this was a pretty pretty big disaster for the Tide Pod Challengers. It's hard to imagine we're going to see either of these teams lose as badly as we saw earlier, but you never know for sure. Jeff from the Overwatch team has found the ability to lose in very creative ways over the course of the season. It could happen again.
Well, I see them hovering over the Symmetra and Katten hovering over the Torbjorn. So are we going to see some Symmetra Torb strats brought back from the dead from Season 4? Cheese strats?
I'm leaning with a yes right now. I think Jeff from the Overwatch team is going to do this. By the way, folks, Dano22 on the champion punch card, currently at 19. Make that 20 if he plays this Doomfist. But I also thought this team was on defense, not attack. No, there's not a chance they'll run this on attack.
No, I want to see them run the attack Symmetra. I want to see them run the attack Torbjorn. This is going to happen. Josh Danko already showing they are not prepared.
Yeah, we will see. Meanwhile, pretty standard stuff coming out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. The picks we actually are securing as this team goes back to all of their traditional roles, all of their traditional picks here. 30 Ninja Plez coring this one up as Soldier, Junkrat, respectively.
No, this can happen. This can happen. This is the match of the century right here. No, you don't. Look.
They're doing it. They
Look
would
at
have
me.
swapped. They
Look
would
at
have
me.
swapped by
This
now.
is happening. This is happening. Come on.
I always tell Dan he has to play Doomfist because I thought that was the one ground he would not touch. Dano.
Oh my God, they gotta do this. All they gotta do is just death all themselves in. Oh, but a big pick already coming in. Danko's getting taken out already. The dream is dead. The dream is dead. He's taking out Dano. No, Danko Dano also getting taken out. Everything that I know and love is getting torn to shreds. Why is this happening? Why are my dreams becoming me?
Yeah, this entry was about as bad as it could possibly be. Josh Danko gets hooked early, and look at that, they have swapped off already. They are now swapping this over to a 4-tank composition, but this is 4-tank with a Mercy. I don't like this at all. Mercy is not good in 4-tank composition.
And they're putting Danko on the DPS instead of on his star role as
so
Zarya.
that's a 3-tank, so I guess that does make more sense. They want to pharmacy it here. I'm once again misreading things. This is a bit more intelligent than I thought, as this makes Josh Danko have a lot of space to carry. He's a very good Pharah player, as he has now made his way over this point, which far as they've lost Captain on the entry, but this is still a 5v5, and now they've taken out Cruise Master, so this might be all right for Jeff from the Overwatch team. It's Ryan's in charge on this point. Hibbs and Splinter both going down for their respective teams as Scotch drops the hammer onto one, but 30 is looking for attack visor. Ninja Plez tossing out the tire, and this is looking like it's going to work for the defense. They almost give up the first pit tick, but do not quite do it.
Now, Scotch had a very interesting strategy. He tried to play dive with the Reinhardt, charging all the way into point from the choke. And you know what? Sometimes it can work, but, then again, you have to be able to frag out for dive to work.
30 once again finds some damage on a cap, and on the entry boom, they lose Ryzak in the process too. Human Beast gonna get the res, and 30 shoots Josh out of the sky while Human Beast stops to get that res. Who's messing with the res? Ryzak, but that's 30 off the board. As there was a lot of picks traded fast here. Splinter going aggressive, gets a 2-man hammer, and now coming for, he lands a book. Hibbs is able to get before anyone goes down here. And now Splinter has died. The offense able to start pushing their battle lines forward here, as the healers have kind of flanked away from the tanks. Gonna go over the point though. He finds two with that rocket barrage. The Jappel's gonna try to chuck out a Riptire here. Must have got no. The Riptire is still there. He is wasting so much time, and he finds the pharmacy with the tire. Once again, defense coming through with the clutch plays. They've given up a tick, but they might be able to hold this before it's 2.
And
A big whole hog on a Dano though, and actually it's looking like the offense will find the picks they need. The Riptire on the pharmacy was not enough, and Jeff and the Overwatch team keep this push alive.
yeah, I was very impressed by that tire, able to get that much height. The new speed, or I shouldn't say new speed, it's been changed for quite some time now. But just the heights that it can reach, even as a Pharah Mercy combo, you gotta be scared of the tire.
Yeah, and Ninja Apples does not want any more pressure from that Pharah. As 30 is gonna buy some time here, taking the pharmacy himself, but now they've got a Widowmaker as well. That's going to be a ton of pressure onto Josh and will probably force a swap sooner than not. They get the pick out of Dan as well, so the defense moving on to this cart, as this should be a pretty easy fight for them to mop up. So there's the staggered team kill coming out there, and ult economy is now looking very, very good for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as there are some swaps coming out of Team Jeff. We got Josh back over to the Doomfist, Dano going on to the Winston, so they want to get up on this high ground. They do not want to let this Widow have this castle for free.
Right. Captain on the Zarya, almost having the black hole of the Graviton Surge. Gonna be able to try to get, yeah, there's the trance trying to go down, but the high ground that 30 has with the attack visor, going to be able to clean up everyone from behind. Spoopy Koopa going with his own ult as well, but they're still pushing. They're not able to get back up yet, as Dano, Mystic has jumped completely, unable to really recover from any of that.
Yeah, Cruise Master popping the boundary as they're expecting this fight to go for a bit longer. I don't know if that was necessary, as Ninja Apple's gonna mop this fight up. And now this cart in a bit of a more difficult place to reach here, as this is one of the very weird points in Overwatch where sometimes it feels easier to give up a pretty substantial amount of ground here to get this cart into an easier place to contest. So I don't think that Mercy Nerfy Day is going to be too upset about how this is played out, as they currently have Widow sight. They see any possible entries, as Captain is trying to match Widow versus Widow here.
Yeah, definitely much easier to defend on the bridge and by the door, just because you'll have the spawn advantage as on defense. And the spawn advantage just on this map alone is just such an asset.
There we go, hammer down up on the high ground. They've taken out Cruz early here, as Widows are making plays upon Widows right now. Guys like Fight pick on the Hibs as well, so this fight now breaking out towards the cart is Cuban Pete gonna be valking up into the sky here. There are now no heals available for the defense, I believe.
Splinter answering with a hammer down to make sure that the tanks aren't able to do anything. No one was able to punish him as he failed a charge. Spoopy trying to kill himself to get back with his team much faster. They will, however,
fortunately for
be able to push.
Fortunately for Mercy Nerfy Daddy, that cart wasn't being pushed at the start of that fight, so they will get most of their team lined up here. They are positioning there, going to contest this cart before it captures. Ninja Plez on the flank here, just now being spotted on the Genji, but actually no, they are going to give this cart up. No, 30 gets on half of meters of play, but no, he steps off of this play. Oh!
And Josh Danko, just like that, already knowing that he's done his job, can just run off the cliff and just say, hey, I don't even care. I got a 4K.
Yeah, this could be the super rare play that simultaneously in one fight makes fails of the week and play of the game. Good gracious there. Josh Danko, a massive ult, and now we are in one fight territory. Hips dropping the beat, hits everyone but his Widowmaker here. As Jeff from the Overwatch team, they want to get 3 points here on offense. Captain trying to get some pressure, but 30 comes on the flank, takes him out. Now this could be the chance for Mercy Nerfy Daddy to stop this push, as they have found 2 picks. Scott on the flank gets a hammer down. Ninja Plus is down, but 30 is still alive with his Tracer. Cruise Master playing it safe, popping the Valkyrie and going on up into the air. But Scotch finds the pick onto Ryzak. This is looking good for Mercy Nerfy Daddy. They've lost hips, but I don't think it's going to matter here.
No, MNFD is, well, they have their spawn advantage, but no one's able to frag out at all. There goes Spoopy Koopa, as Captain on the Tracer, able to take out one person as this elongated fight. Josh Danko trying to get his mech back as soon as he can, unable to get anyone with the Diva Bomb, as the Reaper is coming in from Ninja Plez, trying to do anything against this triple tank lineup. Scotch trying to do what he can. Oh, actually, Scotch, correct that. Scotch having to walk all the way back after being taken that.
Captain finds a double low. Nice pulse bomb coming out. Ninja Plus creating a nice zone. He puts a lot of pressure down with his death boss. A really smart swap out of him. His 30 is on the McCree now as well. These were some very good swaps, and that was a very long fight, but the spawn advantage was ultimately enough here. And now it's going to be really tough for Jeff from the Overwatch team to touch this card in time. Mercy Nerfy Daddy, they're playing this very far forward. They are daring Team Jeff to push through them. They've got Lucio's speed coming in, but Hibbs gets flashbanged and a nice hammer down on a Splinter, and there is no cart touching there. The defense is able to hold.
And although they weren't able to get 3 points, it's still very, very respectable, getting all the way to the castle of Eichenwald. Giving them a chance to defend, especially on point number 1. If they're able to hold that all at once, hey, that's another map for them, and that would be very, very surprising and very, very hope-filled for Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Yeah, but on the other side of things, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy probably pretty content to just simply win this on offense. This is a map to me. Eichenwald is all about having intelligent hero swaps, and that has been one of MNMD's advantages all season. They just have a good feel for when to swap picks, particularly when they have Ninja Plus in the lineup. Him and 30 are both just such dynamic players. So we will see what they do to approach this first points. They're currently hovering the Tracer Pharah. I wouldn't be surprised. That's a pretty effective combo on this first point. Meanwhile, on the defense, we've got Kappen going to be playing solo DPS here, so a bit of a strange 3-tank defensive comp coming out with Orisa, Hog, D.Va, and the usual suspects it supports.
And I think on defense, they kind of know already that they're going to be running this triple tank lineup, as it's probably the one thing that's being very effective for them. And so they're going to be already popping out the Reaper on this defense, and as well as maybe a triple tank lineup of their own with the Rhine, Hog, and D.Va.
MNMD maybe having a smart prediction here, as we've seen Jeff and the Overwatch team kind of go back to this comp a lot when they're feeling pressured, as this should be a decent answer with the Reaper and the Roadhog available. So we will see how this entry goes. Jeff and the Overwatch team has the Orisa barrier set up pretty far back. They get a nice look on a Josh angle. This is going to free them up to just rush straight onto this point. A very smart push out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, but they've lost Ninja Plez on the entry. Huge kill from Josh Danko there.
Josh Danko getting D-Mac, trying to do what he can to get back in, as Dano and Hiv staying on the point. But Splinter and Spoopy Koopa on the Rhine and D.Va respectively, trying to do what they can to get any sort of pick. Trying to do what he can. Dano getting a nice hook on to making sure that Ryzak unable to continue on with the fight as they continue this brawl on the point. Dano doing what he can to get anything at all, but unable to do anything. Getting outmanned as they continue to put points on this Scotch, trying to do what he can as well, just to try to hold on for any lick of time. But that's going to give them at this 3-minute point.
Yeah, not enough out of the defense there. It was valiant. It looked like a valiant fight for a moment, but the spawn advantage was just the edge that Mercy Nerf Me Daddy needed, as they got a few bodies back on that point for a second life in that fight. And now they are in a good spot heading onto the second point here. They have a D.Va that can go up and contest this high grounds. Well, maybe they might need more than that. We'll see. They do have a D.Va bomb available. It's looking like Jeff the Overwatch team. They want to hold this one pretty far forward. They do find Ninja Pledge very early on. They're now setting up inside the lower castle here.
Scotch very away from his own team as the Orisa. Maybe he's playing a little bit of bait, a little bit of cat and mouse for their team, as the rest of them are going to try to take high ground. Dano making a small mistake, jumping down from high ground. Getting a nice hook on the Spoopy Koopa as they continue to drop down. Ult coming down. A big hammer down coming from the Ryan Splinter. Trying to do what he can. Hitting through the sound barrier, but unable to get too much. As
attack visor coming out, but Kappen dies pretty quick into it. Ninja Blast starting to frag out a bit here as he's chasing down him. Run feels a little life with DJ, but he's not able to make it out.
The Moth flying in the sky, doing what she can to heal. But a D.Va bomb coming in, see if we can get anything, but no one to own it, and also getting hooked before able to getting back into that mech. As this cart continues to push, and it looks like
man advantage. I think the Jeff and the Overwatch team should give this one up. They are looking like they want to contest, though. Dano steps on just over 5 meters to push, but none of his team follows through with him there, as he's now being pushed away from this point. They can actually stagger Dano here if they would like. They're currently at a big man advantage on this offense, as the defense is still staring out at this point. 30's going to pop a full hog. Ninja Plus popping the death blossom as well, and that's going to secure things. Now Josh Danko being staggered, and will they do this yet? Josh going to have to jump off. Ryzak tries to boot him back onto the stage. But Josh gets the suicide there. Unfortunately, it takes a second for this gate to break down. No one really holds us too far forward anyway, so this should not stagger the defense. But actually, there is a push coming from the stars here. 30 Ninja Players way far forward. You do not have to push this one all the way to the end, just close to it. Into this last kind of bend here. So they are now in one fight territory. As Cuban Pete gets the res onto Dano Zarya. This is going to potentially be the last fight. As Splinter going in deep, but going to die to trade the process flow. They've taken out Cuban Pete's Mercy. Probably worth it as Ninja Plus finds two. This is looking good for MNMD. They get the hook on the Scotch. Can they secure the kill? No, they cannot. They're still ringing out a lot of damage. They're not under much pressure. Josh Danko looking for the backbreaker again, and he's gonna get it. Just the healers and Ninja Plus, and that is gonna stop this push in its tracks. Josh Danko, gigantic on this team.
Yes, Janko still breathing some life into this team as he's able to help them get that secured defense. Now, still 4 minutes on the clock for this defense, so gonna be a tough sell for Jeff and the Overwatch team. But if they're able to utilize their ult economy, play to their positioning, and hopefully if Dano can start fragging out, getting high charge, and keeping it with the Zarya, you know what? Maybe they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, ult economy very good for both of these teams right here, so it could be a very explosive next fight, or we could see MND try to go for an ult bait out fight, although that can be sometimes pretty risky with the level of play in this league. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just see MNMD run in and commit things. They are a few percentage away from having 6 ults, but Jeff from the Overwatch team is not that far themselves. It's Ryzak leading things in here. Beats are dropped on both sides. It's going to be a slow start. The hammer down hits the staircase. Not any bodies, but the other hammer down Splinter gets interrupted by Scotch's charge. There has been a trade early. Now Spoopy Koopa tossing in his D.Va bomb, and he finds 3 himself. Josh Danko, sit down. You are not the only D.Va on the server tonight. As Mercy, Nerf, and Danny get the staggered team kill, and that is going to give them Eichenwalds.
Yeah. You have to still understand, like, oh man, that was a great job to just deny the hammer down.
Play of the game here, of course, it's going to be Josh Danko. You were there, I were there. I screamed. They took the point because 30 stepped off, and then for good measure, add some insult to injury. Woo.
Just as he wants to show that he doesn't care, he just jumps off. Look at that, 81% kill participation, 30.
Thanks for your support.
That's a lot. 58 eliminations. That was not in overtime rounds. That was 58 eliminations in just a back-to-back Eichenwald. Insane night so far out of 30, and a solid performance on Ninja Plus, but that was definitely a 30 map.
Oh yeah, and you know what? He has to be feeling a little bit safer with Ninja Plus back at his side. You know, it's just one of those things where they're able to get a lot more picks, I feel like they were a bit more coordinated this round than they were on Dorado.
Yeah, they definitely were, and it helps they have everyone back to their traditional roles, the stuff they've been practicing all season. So things are looking good here as they even the series up 1-1.
But let's talk about Danko. He's been exploding in these last 2 maps with those D.Va bombs.
Yeah, I think Josh Danko, he hears some of the shit you guys say on some of these streams. You know, some of this stuff that honestly I cannot come close to agreeing with about, you know, Josh Danko's not that good, or he got lucky to hit 3,900, or, you know, he's on these big losing streaks, blah, blah, blah. When Josh Danko is on points, he is the best player in this league still.
Oh yeah, of course, and just looking at the consistent D.Va bombs he is getting, just the sheer value out of it, and you know what, I wish he does get Grandmaster one day. I'm waiting for that day, and we're gonna have a party. There's gonna be a lot of drinking, and who knows what'll happen.
Yeah, solid performance out of him, and this is why everyone has wanted to see him on this tank as much as possible this season, because he finds these plays. He knows D.Va in and out, and we've been seeing it at its best so far tonight.
But
so we're just taking a quick bio break here, guys, before we get into map 3. We will be going over to Ilios in just a moment, where definitely Overwatch team, they've been a bit more competitive on a lot of their King of the Hill maps, so maybe we can see something big out of them here.
Definitely looking forward to the well, seeing if anyone can get any sick hooks or boops into the golf hole. Hopefully we can see a few hole-in-ones. Maybe we'll see a little bit of sniper play on Ruins. That's always a great map for the Widowmaker on either side. And then when we get to Lighthouse, you know what? We know Scotch is a staple on the Reinhardt, and if they get that, maybe we'll see Josh Jenko whip out his famous Zarya, and they'll be able to just deathball into it.
Yeah, options available, so we will see how this goes.
But I think this is a great time to call out our sponsors. I'm gonna say today's game was brought to you by water. Water. It's everywhere. Drink it.
Yeah, it is good for you. I'm always down for another water shout out. I've been giving a lot of them today. I am currently out of water. It's not good. Did not bring myself the full 32 ounces I needed to cast 2 matches in a row. It was a rookie mistake. I wish I had something from one of our other sponsors here that I could put into my mouth instead. As I would love to give a shout out to another one of our sponsors, Subway Eat Fresh. Just like Josh Danko is eating this team for lunch, dinner, and breakfast all at once with these Diva alts. Josh Danko is eating very fresh tonight. As maybe we give a shout out to one more sponsor, you know, folks, Bad Dragon. Because if you're not in this match and you want to get fucked by Josh Danko, you might as well settle for a Dragon Dildo. And we are just now popping into our ready check here. I think these teams about ready to roll, hopefully. As you know, some folks, you get the bladder starts going, you get nervous over the course of a long series.
And it's definitely understandable with everything that's going on. You know, for some people, this is their only shot at competitive play, a competitive 6-stacking at that. And you know what? It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's bad and it's beautiful. And looks like we still need a sec for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy here, as I know committing a solid hour of your time. It's hard for people to have, you know, an hour without going to the bathroom sometimes. Each their own.
Yeah, not everybody has a...
I can kind of relate. I drink like 5 liters a day of various fluids, so sometimes you're just like, fuck this, I need to pee, catch my breath, clear my head out here before we take this to the lighthouse.
Oh. And
starting
just
things off on the lighthouse. And this should be exciting because we've seen a lot of Lucio v Lucio tonight, and this is a pretty famous Lucio point. Maybe we see one of these Lucios making a big play for their team, as Hibbs and Ryzak are already both hovering it.
Yeah, and definitely should be taking that pick as it is a King of the Hill map, and Lucio just really favors King of the Hill maps just since everyone wants to be team fighting all the time, and everyone's going to be in the center of the action, and Lucio is just able to heal and speed everybody. But not having to worry too much. Looks like we're going to see a bit of a standard composition coming off from Jeff. Dano now playing the Diva, as Scott's going to be playing his standard Reinhardt. Going to be seeing a McCree and Genji combo from their DPS, as well as Cuban Pete playing the Mercy as he normally does. But Dano's opting to go with the Zarya. They're going to be going for the Death Ball, as Mercy Nerf Me Daddy 30 playing the McCree. He is known for his hit scan, being one of the most notable hit scan players, as well as Ninja Plez busting out the Genji of his own.
And here we go, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy rushing on towards this gazebo room here. As no one getting picked early, Josh Danko looking for some play on the flank here. Some health starting to go low for Team Jeff here, but no one has been picked just yet. As Scotch gets flashbanged in the middle of a charge, it's looking like this point going to be taken by Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as they only needed to find 2 picks to do it. And now there's going to be some stagger kills coming out of Jeff from the Overwatch team, but they've already given up this point. I don't know if they know what they're doing. It's looking like they're going to settle for just losing Scotch here. Get out before they lose anyone else. Get into the next fight ASAP.
And Ryzak getting a huge move on Danko, making sure he's not able to do much. Danko having very questionable positioning. And already a Ninja Blade!
Okay, one slice, 2 kills. You cannot stop with that. Make that 3. Ninja Blast going forward, taking the fight to Jeff from the Overwatch team. And if I just want everyone, you will see a res on Ryzak here as close as you will ever see a res to an opposing base. As that is a nice, clean fight coming out of Team MNMD.
Only having to use one ult to get at least 20 more percentage points. I've seen a pillow fucking before, and that was just a 1v6ing.
Yeah, that was a nice pillow fucking indeed. As now Cuban Pete popping the Valkyrie, Captain popping the Dragon Blade of his own again! God, stop it! You can't get these big ults on DPS too! The ults are enough. A team kill comes out in the blink of an eye. Took 3 ults, but it was worth it as this point is flipped over to to Jeff from the Overwatch team from Mercy Nerf Daddy. But watch out, MNMT do have some big ults available here. They've already got 4, swoopy close on a 5th. They're probably going to rush right in and try to retake this. Hims will probably need to go big with this sound barrier.
Trying to eke out what they can. Spoopy Koopa almost getting his ult as well. Ninja Plus almost getting a blade himself, 70%. They have the ult economy for a fight. Scotch getting a 3-man shatter, already getting Ryzak out anything, and making sure that anyone can do anything. Ninja Plus trying to do what he can in the backline, but just unable to do anything as Josh Danko able to pick off Splinter, and Scotch getting taken down, but that doesn't even matter as he'll just be coming right on back as Mercy Nerf Me Daddy get their regroup.
Being able to get this res on to Scotch. Reward for a nice hammer. His hammers have definitely been the strong point of his Ryan play all season. And that one was pretty huge because his team was in a pretty big disadvantage. But now, with one ult committed, he's bought them the time to kind of stabilize his ult economy. Josh Danko now has the Deadeye again. Josh and Captain are both close. Cuban Pete not that far away. So instead of this being a huge ult advantage in favor of NMD, it's just going to be a standard, both teams explosive fight. As Dano dropping his ult to start. Captain going to try to slice through everyone. He finds 230 looking for the ult, but gets killed while channeling. And now this is very, very good for Jeff from the Overwatch team. They only have to win one more fight.
Hibbs using his beat, though, does leave an opening for Ninja Plez to get a fantastic counterblade. But they only have 90%. They have to race to the point. If they're not able to do it, if they're able to crowd them out from even touching, then hey, that
Oh, and that hammer might have just done it. Scotch comes up big, but unfortunately, the Genji Ninja Plez does make it through, and that completely collapses the opposing line. But it may not matter here, as they have already got 2 picks. He's lost a bunch, but Ninja Plez at 30 might be enough. They're fragging out here in a 4v6 situation. They get 3 kills, and now they are trying to flip this point back over. They take out Scotch, but now Captain has the Dragon Blade of his own. He has found blood. Can he find more? 30 takes Captain before he can. Cruz was looking for a res, but I think he got interrupted there. His 30 is finding more picks, and this point is gonna flip.
Yeah, definitely should have taken it as a last fight and just said, hey, let's save our ults for next time. But Captain being very, very overzealous, trying to do what he can, trying to get the 1v6. Seeing what he can do, trying to be a hero. Sometimes you just can't be a hero, Captain.
Yeah, and now as we're going into what will be the last fight of the well, there are some ults close, but the only one up right now is Spooky Koopa with that whole hog. Ninja Plez trying to put some damage out from the high ground. Just keep the offense scared, but Ninja Plez gets picked early. Hibbs gets the killing blow there. Now Splinter gets a big hammer on the side. This will delay the entry, and it's going to be a trade. Dano goes down. Scott's looking for an open his own, but it only gets Ryzak. Josh Danko looking for the Deadeye. Takes one, but a smart play there, but no one steps on! Oh no!
C9? What? No one even tried to touch the point.
Oh,
I mean, I was rooting for Jeff for the Overwatch team. Nothing happened.
Yeah, Jeff from the Overwatch team had the chance there. That still was a very close fight to be fought out, but Jeff from the Overwatch team, just a big mistake, and that's rough.
Yeah, especially with these games, you cannot be making mistakes like that. That you guys need to be putting up your A game. You guys had it to 99.
Yeah, and now instead, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy taking this to map point here. Ruins map that should be pretty good for their strengths, as this is a very good for DPS carries. 30 Ninja Plus coming out with the Tracer Widowmaker. It's going to be Widow versus Widow to open this map up. The first pick could be huge here, as both these teams are now playing to the right side of the points. The outside of the point. I guess I should not use left and right here.
I've seen 2-port before, and this is how it ends.
And I'm Cap'n playing this one pretty far forward. Ninja Plus playing this one a bit more aggressively all over the place. As now these teams finally have to make their way onto the point. These Widows are trying to stare each other down. Who gets who first? It's Ninja Plus. Wins the Widow duel.
Yes, but they do take out the Mercy as a response. Who could be able to take down? And it looks like the first point with the man advantage coming out, and any sort of miracle coming out of Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Yeah, but the res onto Cap'n, and now he was able to get that pick on a Ninja Plus, but it still isn't enough. This point given up by Jeff the Overwatch
There are only
team,
two.
so
There are only
Mercy,
two
Nerf,
people on the cart. It's just a baby diva, and they should be able to storm it back and just get the point back if they're able to. There are no tanks on the point besides that baby diva, but doesn't have a max. You don't have anything there. Guy's able to just swing away, but no one to actually support him in the front line. Pete gonna try to
gets the res onto Dano, but this is time has been bought. All of the spawns, or most of the spawns, have been back to this point by now. As we see Diva ult going up in the air, does not find anyone. Versus Nerf Daddy are still buying time on this point, but Cupid Pete has popped the ult of his own. Widows are both popping their sight now. Cupid Pete needs to be very careful not to get sniped on this guy. He is not playing around pillars at all right now. But Ninja Plus once again wins a Widow duel, gets the pick out of Gavin. Josh looking for a big high noon right on top of this point. Settles for 2, but one of them was a Widow. He gets a mech as well. A solid ult out of him, but this point is still ticking for Mercy Nerf Daddy. 30 is now breaking out of it. And it's looking like a long fight is going to ultimately go in favor of Mercy Nerf Daddy. 30 finishing things off with the pulse bomb. And now we are going to be in one fight territory for Jeff from the Overwatch team.
They had a shot to try to take it back, but just were too slow to try to get it.
Yeah, but that was maybe the big pick. Cap'n gets Ninja Plus there. So this is going to be a man advantage going into what could be the last fight here. Josh Dingo, by the way, has swapped over to the Doomfist. He is not content to let these Widowmakers run the show, but 30 is picked off Cap'n to start with. 30 picked off Josh Dingo as well. There's now no DPS in the final fight of the Ruins here. Dano's taking a lot of damage on this point, trying to test things out. His Mercy has gone down. It is a 3 versus 6 for Jeff from the Overwatch team. They've lost Scott. Hibbs dropping the beat for the 2 that have made it onto this point. That's Bob buying time, but this is going to just be asking too much of Hibbs and Dano. They have lots of guys now. Their DPS have made it back. Josh Danko on the Soldier, Cap'n on the Tracer. Getting back on his foot, but Cruz gets an aggressive res on the Nerds. He is still solo healing. Is that Diva Bob only going to be there to zone?
Doing what he can. Captain switch to the Tracer just to try to get, and a big hammer down, but nobody able to capitalize on it. Everyone from Jeff from the Overwatch team goes down, and it looks like a win for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. 2-1 in favor of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. They take both maps once Ninja Plus makes it back into the lineup. He obviously big for this team. And play of the game gonna be Ninja Plus. One of these big Genji ults. There were a lot of big ults in this game here, but it was going to be the pillow fucking as this drop the Q, 1 slice, 2 kills, tear through Jeff from the Overwatch team, finish them all off, push them back to that base.
And this is why they wanted Ninja Plez back. They were very, very big shoes to fill, and once he came back, they were reinvigorated with that double fragging potential. And you know what? There were some very close games though from Jeff from the Overwatch team, so you have to give them at least a bit of credit.
But unfortunately for them, credit is not enough to get them points, as they are taking this season down to the wire. But that is going to do it, folks. We will be back in just a moment with round 3. We've got Waifu Superstar versus Blabby's Dabs coming up in just a moment, so stay tuned.
User left your channel.